What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on AEW. It is Sunday morning as I'm recording this. It is 12:15 a.m. and I just got done watching AEW Full Gear. I'm sure, as along with many other wrestling fans, I thought it was an awesome pay-per-view, man. I thought it was a fun night of wrestling. The matches were really damn good. The talent worked their ass off, and it was worth $50. It was an awesome pay-per-view, and this ridiculous streak that AEW is on right now with their pay-per-views is unbelievable. You're talking about Forbidden Door. You got All In. All Out a week after that was better than All In was. And then Wrestle Dream about a couple weeks later. This was an awesome pay-per-view. I wouldn't say this was the best pay-per-view AEW had this year. I'm giving that to Forbidden Door. But this was a really awesome pay-per-view. I'm going to start with what we just watched, which was the main event between MJF and Jay White. And I'm just going to get it out of the way right now. MJF and Samoa Joe retained the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles over the Guns on the 0 Hour pre-show, and after the match, the Guns ambushed and took out MJF. They hit a steel chair on his knee, and before they did that, Adam Cole came out. And Adam Cole he had a big boot on. He's wearing he's on crutches, but Adam Cole made a surprise appearance in that match to distract the Guns and cost them the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. Then the Guns attacked MJF after the match, and they slammed a steel chair on his knee twice. Then they put the chair around his knee, and Austin Gunn jumped on the top rope to the chair which was wrapped around MJF's knee. MJF was stretchered off into an ambulance, heading right into the pay-per-view. So we already got a big angle for the main event on the pre-show leading into the pay-per-view. And it only made the drama and the excitement of the main event that much more exciting. And of course, right before the match started, MJF came limping out there. There was about 30 people who tried stopping him competing in this match, while no one stopped Adam Cole, who'd been out for 2 months. And we'll get more into the match when we talk about it. I thought the match was really good, but for my liking, it was incredibly overbooked, and it felt like I was, like the last couple minutes, I felt like I was watching a Bloodline main event with all the ref bumps and interference from the Guns and the objects, the Ring of Honor title, the ring. I felt like it was too much, and it was too much interference, and it felt like a Roman Reigns main event. That doesn't mean the match was bad. I thought too much interference I didn't like it for my liking as a wrestling fan, but I still thought it was a really good main event. And yeah, there's already people complaining on Twitter, Jay White's dead. Jay White should have won the world title. Man, y'all people just don't pay attention to the product. Because MJF has several storylines right now as the world champion. And it makes no sense for MJF to be dropping the AEW World Championship right now, going into their final pay-per-view of the year, December 30th, and everything going on with the Devil. Notice how Adam Cole came tonight, and we saw no Devil. A lot of people mad about that there was no Devil, but folks, the Devil is Adam Cole. I think it's quite obvious. I think it's obvious to figure that one out. But we'll talk more about that main event when we get to the main event. In other things that happened tonight, Tony Khan announced there was going to be a blockbuster signing to All Elite Wrestling. And blockbuster it was. Will, by God, Ospreay is All Elite. And I've been wanting this to happen for 2 years now, because I know and I've seen as a wrestling fan what he's capable of and how he makes his opponents better when he wrestles in that squared circle. Will Ospreay is a ginormous signing for AEW. And we'll talk more about what Ospreay had to say when he cut a promo tonight. He's not going to be in AEW just yet. He has signed a contract. But we're going to talk about when he will be in AEW. Match of the night was easily Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. I truly have no words, man. That match was probably the most violent wrestling match I've ever seen since the Kenny Omega-Jon Moxley match at Full Gear 2019, which, I mean, that was so violent in itself. This topped it. This was carnage. The canvas was unbelievably bloodied up. Might have seen one of the sickest spots ever, and it was one of the best matches in AEW history. And I think after tonight and the decision Tony Khan called with Swerve Strickland going over in this Texas Death Match, the agenda for 2024 is for Swerve Strickland as the AEW World Champion. That guy is a world champion, folks. And we're going to get into that match. I've got a lot to say about that one. It is early in the morning. It is 12:20 at the time of recording. I'm tired, man. It's been a busy week. Tonight was awesome, though. Drinking some beer, having some pizza, drinking some Pepsi as well. Y'all know I love my Pepsi. It's a very good combination with pizza. But we don't stop here, man. After tonight, get some rest for a little bit. Wake up, watch the Miami Dolphins take on the Las Vegas Raiders, and do a post-game recap video tomorrow for that game. I want to get right into it, man. I'm going to get right into the Full Gear card. Let me just see how the timeline is right now. Yeah, a lot of people 50-50 on that main event. A lot of people are 50-50 on that main event. A lot of good stuff on the show, though. People on the timeline, at least as I'm seeing, very excited. Let's get right into it, man. I got a lot to talk about here. We got the opener, which was Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. They took on Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland, with Ric Flair at ringside. Christian Cage got a special entrance. He got a choir singing him out to the ring. There was a very cool lightsaber entrance with Darby, Sting, and Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland was face painted up, just like Darby Allin and Sting were. I thought this was a really fun match. I thought this match was really fun. The crowd was super into it to get it to start the show. Christian Cage did not want to get physical with Adam Copeland. He tried everything in his power not to get anywhere near him. to the fact that he left Luchasaurus high and dry at the end of the match just so he can get away from Copeland. The craziest thing about this match was Darby Allin and Luchasaurus were in the ring, and Luchasaurus did like a clothesline. And right after that, he choke slams Darby Allin onto the apron, hip first. Darby Allin landed hip first onto the apron. That guy, I don't know. I don't know how Darby Allin's not crippled right now. With everything that he's taken. The bump that he took at WrestleDream against Christian Cage, which was the absolute most disgusting bump I've ever seen as a wrestling fan. And then tonight he takes this. Like, this guy, again, I don't know how he's not crippled right now. But as I said, Copeland and Christian tagged into Luchasaurus, but Copeland wanted to beat the shit out of Christian Cage. And Christian went high and dry with the TNT Championship, ran into the crowd, left Luchasaurus all there by himself, 3-on-1, coffin drop, a spear by Copeland, a Scorpion Death Drop by Sting, and a coffin drop by Darby Allin. And Adam Copeland pinned Luchasaurus in this match to get the win for the baby faces here. And the fact that, we didn't get any physicality between Adam Copeland and Christian. I like the way that direction is going. I'm thinking we're going to get these two in a singles match for the TNT Championship at... I apologize real fast. Had to move the table there. Felt something under the table. I think that we're going to get Copeland and Christian Cage for the TNT Championship at WrestleDream. Also, one more thing about this match. Ric Flair got physical. So, for all the concern that Ric Flair is going to be wrestling in AEW, I guess you do have valid concerns. Ric Flair got physical. He got knocked down by Christian Cage, and he stumbled on his way down. Better not see that guy wrestling in an AEW ring. You will hear it here. I will be the first to tell you that I have no problem with him sponsoring his energy drink, but I do not need to see his saggy ass wrestling in an AEW ring. That's not what AEW is about. So, better not see Ric Flair in the ring wrestling. Orange Cassidy, he defended the International Championship against Jon Moxley. A lot of people thought that this match was better than the All Out main event. I disagree. I enjoyed the main event at All Out more than I did this. I still thought this was a very good wrestling match. I don't have any complaints about it. Jon Moxley did not need to win the International Championship. He does not need to be the champion right now. And I have no problem with keeping that title on Orange Cassidy for a little bit. It took 6 orange punches for him to beat Jon Moxley. 6. That's a lot. And when he was stumbling on the first couple orange punches, you knew Orange Cassidy was going to eventually win this match. And that's exactly what happened. And Jon Moxley, he moves on. Orange Cassidy is still the international champion. And I would love to see a guy like Jon Moxley in the Continental Classic. I think that would be awesome, especially with Bryan Danielson in there. Last night, Andrade got announced for the tournament. And tonight, Mark Briscoe and Eddie Kingston got announced for the tournament as well. I would love to see a guy like Jon Moxley in the Continental Classic going at it with the likes of Danielson and Andrade and another match with Eddie Kingston, I think that would be phenomenal, in my honest opinion. But Orange Cassidy retains the International Championship. Toni Storm is the new AEW Women's Champion. This was a no-brainer. Toni Storm defeated Hikaru Shida with an object shoved in her tush, in her ass. A hip attack to Hikaru Shida. Poor Hikaru Shida. She was a transitional champion for Saraya, and now she's a transitional champion for Toni Storm. But there was no way, with all this character investment that's gone into Toni Storm for months, with this psychotic Marilyn Monroe character, that she was going to lose this match. If she lost this match, it would have been a disaster. So I'm actually very happy she won this match. Mariah May, she's been in AEW for 2 weeks now. The obsessed Toni Storm fan came out and gave Toni Storm her flowers, legitimately gave her flowers, and she's the women's champion, man. Good for Toni Storm. She's must-watch television right now. She's probably the best character in AEW, and yeah, man, I'm loving some Toni Storm right now, man. She's absolutely killing it. Now she's the women's champion. The ladder match for the AEW tag team titles, we have FTR, LFI, the House of Black, Ricky Starks, and Big Bill. This match, at this point of the night, was my match of the night. I thought this match was fantastic. This was a really, really damn good ladder match for the tag team titles. And I am going to go over this, not move by move, but I'm going to pick it up at this point in the match. Dax Harwood and Ricky Starks, they're fighting on top of the ring, on the top turnbuckle. And there's a couple guys outside on the ring, all 6 guys. And Dax hits a suplex onto Ricky Starks with all 6 guys laying out, and it takes out everybody. Then after that, you get Brody King and Big Bill standing up in the ring. The crowd is going nuts. They are chanting meat, just like they did for Miro and Hobbs at All Out. Big Bill is giving these clubbing back shots to Brody King that echoed through the Kia Forum. And I will say, this is not about the match real quick. I got to give my criticism real quick. The way the Kia Forum is shaped stinks. Because for most of the night, in the background, we were staring at a wall with an exit sign. When there were 14,000 people at the Kia Forum tonight, and we saw people sitting at the floor seats and a wall right behind them. I would have preferred this event to be where the Los Angeles Lakers and Clippers play at the Crypto.com arena. I thought that close shot with the wall in the background was very trash, and the way that arena is shaped stinks. But back to the match, Big Bill and Brody King. Big Bill just gave Brody King his back shots, and Roosh and Dax Harwood crushed both guys with ladder shots, crushed their rib cage. Then later on, Cash Wheeler and Malachi Black in the ring. Cash Wheeler bounces off the ropes, and Malachi launches a ladder onto Cash Wheeler and it bounced off of him like a basketball. And then there was a ladder bridged up on the bottom turnbuckle. Malachi and Cash Wheeler on the top. Cash Wheeler low blowed Malachi, got him in a pile driver position and pile drivered Malachi Black off the top rope onto the ladder edge on the bottom of the bottom rope. That spot was absolutely sick. That was a sick spot by both Wheeler and Malachi Black. Then we have Dralistico getting speared by Ricky. Roosh spears, Ricky Stark spears Roosh, which was really nice. And now he does the top rope walk onto Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. Then all guys have their ladder set up, and everybody goes knocking down one by one. The spot of the match, there was a ladder bridge on the outside, and this was out there the entire match. And Brody King crushed Dralistico with a Gonzo bomb on top of the ladder. That spot was unbelievable. I feel bad for Dralistico. I hope he's okay, because that looked terrible. You could not pay me $50,000. Okay, I'll back it up. You could not pay me $20,000 to take that spot from Brody King. My neck would be in shambles. Ricky and Big Bill, they knocked off Cash Wheeler off the ladder. Ricky retrieved the tag team titles, and he threw one down to Big Bill to retain the tag team championships. This was the right decision. FTR and House of Black are feuding with each other. They cancel each other out. This was down to LFI and Ricky and Big Bill, and those guys just won the tag team titles, and you should not have taken them off them this quickly. The right move. Ricky Starks and Big Bill retained the tag team titles. I'm saying I'm shocked by this move, man. Julia Hart is the new TBS champion, which I have no problem with at all. I actually think she deserves it. The character development she's doing with the House of Black, really good. Her in-ring, she's definitely improved, and I'm happy to see her get this chance as the TBS champion, because she deserves it. And while I thought these ladies were put in a poor spot, man, they had, for what it was a very good match. Chris Statlander hit the Saturday Night Fever onto Sky Blue. Julia Hart threw Statlander out of the ring, took advantage, and is the new TBS champion. I'm very excited to see what Julia Hart can do with that TBS champion. They've also put a lot of character investment into Julia Hart, and she's been getting a lot of in-ring work between Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage. So, kind of went through that match a little quick because, man, I want to talk about this match. Texas Death. Match of the fucking night. Hangman Adam Page against Swerve Strickland. This will be a match that you were talking about for years. So Swerve is making his entrance, and when his entrance is over, Hangman Page just comes running down the ring and takes down Swerve and immediately hits a buckshot lariat onto Swerve to send him a message. Then he's got tape, and he tapes Swerve's wrists together, and this motherfucker takes a staple gun and starts stapling the body of Swerve Strickland. This was sick. This guy has blood all over him. And then, get this, folks. Remember the picture that Swerve found of Hangman's son? The picture that Hangman's son made, the drawing? Well, Hangman brung that out, stapled it to the face of Swerve Strickland, yanked it off his face. Then he lays down. He drinks his blood and spits it up in the air like he's Triple H. And the crowd at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles went bananas for this. I've never, in 15 years of watching professional wrestling, I've never seen something as terrifying, I guess you can use, ever. I've never seen something as terrifying as that. That was something. And then, at this point, Swerve goes into psycho mode. This motherfucker has blood dripping down his face. And he starts stapling himself and laughing psychotically. This was cold, is what I'm going to use. This was cold. Then Swerve puts a barbed wire chair in between two ropes. He Irish whips Hangman head first into the barbed wire chair, and Hangman comes up gushing blood from all of this. And he starts wrapping barbed wire around the head of Hangman Adam Page. Then he grabs a cinder block and he hits a Death Valley driver to Hangman Page onto the cinder block. Back first onto the cinder block by Swerve. Hangman, right at a later point in the match, he has a barbed wire chair and he does a moonsault off the top rope to the floor with the barbed wire chair. And I guess the barbed wire must have yanked at Swerve's arm because he was holding his arm like this, like he had just broken his arm. I legit thought that Swerve broke his arm after that spot. That was something. Then Swerve, the chair is laying in the middle of the ring, and Hangman gives Swerve a tombstone onto the barbed wire chair, and they do a wide shot of the canvas. And my goodness, folks, I could not begin to tell you how much blood was on this fucking canvas. It was frightening. It was frightening. And it's like the amount of blood that was on the canvas for Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega 4 years ago at Full Gear. This match was more violent than that was. This was the most violent match in AEW history. So, the blood is still pouring down Swerve's face. Hangman is up. He's up to his feet. Prince Nana helps Swerve get to his feet. And he gets to his feet before the count of 10. Then, Swerve gives Hangman a back shot with a steel chair, the barbed wire steel chair, to his back, power bombs him onto the steel chair with barbed wire, and then gives him the Swerve stomp onto the steel chair with barbed wire. Hangman is able to get up at the count of 10. And at this point, I'm like, these guys are going to actually kill themselves. Then Swerve and Hangman go flying over the top rope with a clothesline from Swerve. Prince Nana gets himself involved. There's a table on the outside. He gets his nose in Hangman's business. And Hangman gave Nana a dead eye through the table on the outside. And the table went exploding. Even Prince Nana is taking big bumps in this match. And then the match ends when Brian Cage comes out and he tries to interfere, and Hangman takes care of him, and he's going to do something to him on the outside. And Swerve takes a cinder block and he smashes it over the back of Hangman Adam Page. And then he uses a steel chain, wraps it around the ring post, around Hangman's neck, and he's choking the life out of Hangman Adam Page. Now, if you guys remember, this was the exact same ending at Revolution this year when Hangman Page choked the life out of Jon Moxley with a steel chain. Tonight, he got choked out by Swerve. Hangman Page did not get up. Swerve is 2-0 in the feud against Hangman Page. I'm guessing it signifies that the feud is over. And the fucking the rocket is strapped on the Swerve Strickland. They strapped the rocket onto Swerve Strickland, and the agenda for Swerve Strickland to be the AEW World Champion in 2024 is real, folks. It is real. As I said earlier, the blockbuster signing for AEW is Will Ospreay. However, he did say that he did say that he has 3 more months to finish in New Japan. New Japan, he gave 8 years of his life and career to New Japan and wants to finish his contract. He wants to finish up with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he promises the AEW fans, starting at the road to Revolution, Ospreay is all theirs. This is a game-changing move, man. This guy is going to be world champion in AEW. And Ospreay, the dream matches are fucking endless for Will Ospreay in AEW. The Golden Jets, Jericho and Omega against the Young Bucks, they were put in a terrible spot here. The match was still great, but I don't know. There was no way they were gonna outdo that match between Hangman and Swerve. Jericho and Omega won. The Young Bucks threw a temper tantrum ringside after the match, and this is going to further solidify their heel turn when they cost Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho the tag team titles whenever they wrestle for them. So that's the story that they got going. And then the main event, MJF, Jay White. MJF comes out of the ambulance as Adam Cole's getting ready to wrestle Jay White. And about 30 people come out to stop MJF. And he's wrestling with a bum knee throughout the match. And I have to give this spot a shout out. The fucking spot where Jay White is standing on the apron and MJF launches himself over the top rope and hits a cutter onto the floor. I've never seen MJF pull something off like that ever. That was insane. That was insane, folks. MJF won after hitting Jay White with the Dynamite Diamond ring. There was a lot of interference in this match. Cole intended to give MJF the Dynamite Diamond ring. Jay White stopped him. Jay White took the Dynamite Diamond ring, and he missed. And MJF, he hit him, I forget with what, but then he took the ring, hit Jay White over the head with the ring, and he retained the AEW World Championship. So, the match was really good. Just want to put that out there. And there was way too much interference. Way too much. And my question that I have, and then we'll wrap it up here. The angle on the pre-show before this show, you already had a good enough story going into this. You had a great story going into this. It's the fact that Bullet Club Gold have been torturing this man for 7 weeks now. They've stolen his championship. Jay White is walking around acting like he's the world champion. MJF has no friends. The Acclaimed have been taken out by the Devil. And MJF is fighting Bullet Club Gold all by himself. What did they accomplish? What did Tony and AEW accomplish with that angle going into the pay-per-view if it wasn't going to have a major payoff? The only way that angle the only reason that angle happened was for a clear and obvious target for Jay White during the match and to make it more dramatic going into the main event, which good on AEW. It was more dramatic going into the main event, but they did not have me for a slightest. They did not fool me thinking that Adam Cole with a serious injury was going to wrestle in this match. No way. But I don't know what they accomplished with that angle before the main event. That's just me. I might be the only one. I might be a little bit too nitpicky. Again, I thought the main event was really good. I'm not complaining about the match. The match was great, but there was way too much interference. So, that's all I got. That's all I got for Full Gear Review. Awesome pay-per-view. Another banger from AEW. MJF is going into the final pay-per-view of the year as the AEW World Champion. Texas Deathmatch was the match of the night. And Will Ospreay is all elite. As I said on Thursday, I'm very busy in my personal life right now. I got finals coming up, so I'm going to need to lock in for a couple nights and study. And I have not done Dynamite reviews in a while here on the channel. But good news is that AEW Dynamite reviews will be coming back to the Big Fight Fuel channel December 20th. Right when the Continental Classic's about to end, we will be here breaking it down on the Big Fight Fuel channel. So the next AEW video here on the channel is going to be the December 20th edition of AEW Dynamite. And then from here on in, Dynamite reviews every single week. Collision, I don't think so. Collision just does not feel important. Unless there's a big-time match that week on Collision, and I feel like I have to watch, then I'll review it. But right now, Collision does not feel big at all. But I'm getting out of here. I am exhausted, man. It's early, and I got a football game to watch tomorrow with the Dolphins and Raiders. I'm excited. Hope the Dolphins get the dub. We'll talk about all that tomorrow I'm tired. Tonight was all about the wrestling talk. Tomorrow is all about the Dolphins talk. Comment down below your thoughts on the pay-per-view. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. And follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. I will see you tomorrow for the post-game recap video. Las Vegas Raiders, Miami Dolphins. I'm out of here. Peace. I am out.